Hello and welcome to my presentation. My name is Courtney Price and today I will be discussing my literacy journey. My literacy journey has been an extremely wild ride. It has been bumpy, anxiety-ridden, fear-inducing, but overall it has been enjoyable and a blessing, as without it I wouldn't be the person that I am today, as well as without the things that have knocked me down every once in a while, but the things that have picked me up and encouraged me and sent me on my way. I wouldn't be the person I am today without them either. So for everything, I am very grateful. To begin, I will emphasize a metaphor that I strongly believe resembles my literacy journey. My literacy journey is very similar to a broken relationship that starts off exciting, but over time the passion is lost and the love is dead. But as they find their way, they find that they are destined to be together and the love is rekindled. I chose this metaphor as, for all children, their literacy journey begins off fresh, new, fascinating, exciting, but for me personally, towards the end of late childhood and early adolescence, I was stressed. I didn't have the passion for improving myself anymore, so ultimately the love was dead. I found that as I progressed into my VCE experience and I was approaching the end of high school, I found that reading was a great tool for me to relax and unwind and let the pressures escape off my head for a little while. So I therefore found the love and passion for reading again, and that's why I chose that metaphor. My language and literacy has obviously developed over time as I have become older, wiser, and more knowledgeable. Things that have shaped me have been many things, such as the support I have from my friends and family from now back to when I was a child, as well as many other situations, objects and scenarios that have been brought into my life over time. I have 4 objects with me today that I believe have influenced my literacy journey in some way. The first object is the very first book I ever learnt to read, which was the timeless classic Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. This book means a lot to me as it was the first book I ever learnt to read, and I spent hours practicing, trying to read it word for word faultless. And the time that I achieved that, I had spent all afternoon in my mum's bedroom practicing, and I yelled out to her and I said, "Mum, I did it." She came into the bedroom and she was crying with joy. That moment for me in my life is very memorable as, like I said, it was the very first book I learned to read, but it was also the first indication of my literacy journey beginning that I can remember. As I progressed into primary school, I was very competitive and I wanted to be the best at everything. I aimed to be in the top groups for reading, spelling, writing, everything I could be. So I entered my school spelling bee. I was only in grade 3 and the bee was open for participants from grade 2 to 6. There was 50 competitors and I beat out all of them. That moment means a lot to me as it was the first indication of where my strengths lied, and the object that I have with me today to represent that is my certificate of accomplishment for the spelling bee. My third object is the very first music album that I purchased for myself when I was 12 years old, and that album is by an American band called Fall Out Boy. This album means a lot to me as it was the first album I had ever purchased, like I said, but also it opened me up to a world of musical literacy, new terms, new lexemes, music notes, and it also motivated me to become a better person. I was open to the art of songwriting and expression, and I believe that this album motivated me to learn how to play drums. I learnt new literacy playing a musical instrument, but I unfortunately didn't continue drums as I felt too much pressure to complete my schoolwork well and do everything that I possibly could to excel. My final object is my glasses. Obviously my glasses don't directly influence my literacy journey, but I believe metaphorically they do. Admittedly, completing my VCE was not the best time of my life. It was exhausting, I was burnt out, and at the time I felt that it was truly impossible for me to complete high school, let alone get my certificate and get an ATAR that I was content with and get into my dream university course. I was lazy, I was unmotivated, and I barely scraped by. I did the bare minimum, so I believe that my journey truly was lost at that point in time. However, at the end of my VC experience, there was a burnt out flame in me that needed to be reignited, and the determination and drive that I needed for my final exams were the flame that reignited the spark. My glasses represent the drive that I now possess, as with them I am able to see the world more clearly and am able to see exactly where I want to go, what I want to do, and who I want to be. My literacy journey timeline begins in kindergarten when I was advanced in reading. I was only 4 years old, but I became the in-house storyteller for my class in kindergarten. Into primary school, as I said, I wanted to be the best. I was competitive. I did everything that I possibly could to get into the top groups, and I did achieve that. Not to brag, but I was very proud of myself. I felt confident, and I realised where my strengths did lie. Into late adolescence, as I said, the love and passion died, but as I progressed into early adulthood, it was reignited and I found that passion again. My strengths include spelling, writing, and grammar. And I believe that these strengths stem from the fact that I did learn to read quite early in my life, and reading, as I said, was a great passion for me. I truly believe that my greatest strength, however, lies within spelling. Like I said, I was the spelling bee champion of my primary school, and at that moment in time when I won, I knew that that was where I would have my strongest point forever. And as my schooling life progressed, during our spelling tests, I would always get extremely high marks. My intellectual age was higher than I actually was, and so that made me feel great within myself. I also believe that one of my strengths is memory, as that I believe that stems from my love for music, and I can recall lyrics with great ease. However, my memory is only good when I want it to be, and that, I think, leads the path in towards my weaknesses, as my biggest weakness is possessing the willpower and the determination to complete a task that does not appeal to me whatsoever, does not interest me or benefit me. And as all teenagers do, I think we do lose the drive and we rebel. But in university, sometimes you do tasks that you don't necessarily want to do, and that, I think, is what happened to me and will happen to me for a while, but I will work on it. My other weakness is my shyness. I am very, very shy, and I believe that I don't speak up and ask questions to improve myself and my knowledge often enough, so that will probably not benefit me in the way that I believe it will, because I'm not going to enhance my skills. And I will work on that, but I think it will take some time. So to conclude my presentation, I want to say thank you all for everything, for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed listening to my journey and learned a bit more about myself and my skills. Thank you.